Hello, this is Kenneth Nichols from Great Writers Steal. Today we are going to discuss what we can steal from Sara Bareilles' Gravity. It is a pop song that was written and performed by Miss Bareilles along with many other musicians. It was released in 2008, but it first appeared on Careful Confessions, Miss Bareilles' debut album. It was subsequently recorded for her follow-up Little Voice. You can find a link to the song in the description. What are we stealing from her? Narrative emphasis. My goodness, this really is a beautiful song. In Gravity, it opens in a very simple manner. It's only Miss Bareilles and her piano. The first line of the lyric introduces the song's central metaphor. Something always brings me back to you. Remember all that stuff you were told in high school physics when you were wondering how to get a date for the prom? All the matter in the universe exerts a gravitational force on the other matter that depends on its mass, right? I think that's what it was. Personally, I assume that Miss Bareilles is singing to a significant other, but the song can mean whatever you wish it to mean. The narrator of the song knows that the lover is bad news, but can't help but return to him or her, feeling pulled by an inexplicable force. One reason the song is so great is that the arrangement spotlights Miss Bareilles' world-class voice. Writers of all kinds need to understand their strengths and play to them, just as Miss Bareilles' sound engineer knows that he or she needs to boost the level of the boss's microphone. Hollywood screenwriters do this a lot. There are writers who are known as character writers. These folks will be called in to punch up the characters in a script. There are writers who get paid very well to add jokes to scripts. You need to decide what comes easiest to you and emphasize that facet of your work. Gravity ends with a reprise of the opening of the song, bringing the narrator's experience full circle. By doing this, Miss Bareilles brings symmetry to the piece and to the story that she's telling. Ending a short story is always difficult. Well, it's always difficult for me. Maybe what you need to do at a story's end is to return to its beginning. And the music video for Gravity is a very powerful piece of filmmaking. The whole thing is done in one shot. The director focuses his or her camera on Miss Bareilles as she walks through an alley. Now, this would be a good choice on its own. Miss Bareilles is a compelling performer, and there's something about her face that makes you want to watch her. The real genius takes a few seconds to kick in. Before long, you realize that Miss Bareilles has started on Earth and is walking through the solar system. The mural behind her looks like a map, and a young child zooms an airplane in front of her. A pickup truck pulls in behind the singer, carrying a large inflatable Earth. Before long, Miss Bareilles is passing Mars. Stars and comets are flying by her. They're carried by extras. The director was incredibly inventive in his or her use of objects. An open fire hydrant provides the rings of Saturn. Bicycle taillights paint parallel lines around the singer as she leaves the gravitational pull of the sun. Goodness, what a way to make use of the central metaphor of the song. And as the video ends, Miss Bareilles is as alone as she was in the beginning. There's that symmetry again. I'm certainly not an expert with respect to the cost of music videos, but the director found a relatively inexpensive way to pack an emotional wallop. All he or she needed were some flashlights and some flares. The video also allows the song to work its simple magic on you. Instead of distracting the viewer with countless MTV cuts, the video emphasizes the simple and bare emotion in the song. It can be very easy to get bogged down in all of the stuff that we put into our work. Sometimes it's best to let our story or our words stand on their own. So let's break it down. What should we steal? Play to your strengths and showcase your particular talents. Miss Bareilles is wise to put her voice front and center. What should you emphasize in a piece? Your facility with language? Your propensity with plot? Finish your work with symmetry. Human beings are innately attracted to symmetry. We find these patterns in our lives and are attracted to them when looking for a mate. Perhaps your poem, short story, or song wants to end the way it began. Allow a simple story to stand on its own. A well-cooked steak, fine, or a well-cooked eggplant, is a fine meal unto itself. Maybe your poem or short play doesn't need a baked potato or a side of creamed corn. Well, that's all for now. Please do subscribe to this channel. You can check out the original essay in the link in the description.